Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. One comment that I get from viewers quite a bit that rubs me the wrong way is when people start criticizing me for using left or right-handed reels. I get comments a lot of times where if I'm using, say, a right-handed reel and I make a cast with my right hand and then swap the right-handed reel, so in this case, I'll take it, I'll cast right-handed and swap back and then go to retrieving my bait. I get a lot of people, when they see that, they go, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's using the wrong-handed reel for the way he's casting. And meanwhile, if I pick up a left-handed reel and I cast left-handed and then swap and then retrieve with my left hand, I get the same people commenting that this guy doesn't know anything because of that. Meanwhile, the comments that I'm getting from the viewer, they don't have any idea that I use both left and right-handed reels. And most of the time, those comments are coming from videos where I'm doing just a retrieve video. So maybe I pick up, something to cast and wind, and I do it with a left-handed reel. They're judging me based off of the video, which is really about the retrieves and not the reel that I'm using. The funny part with this, again, goes back to that I fish both left and right-handed reels, and I have tons and tons of comments as well where people are not judging me for what I'm doing. They specifically just reach out and say, hey, I noticed that you use both left and right-handed reels. Why do you go ahead and do that? So I figured I'd do another video. I've done a couple of these in the past, just talking about the differences for me. And I want to stress that you should use the reels that are most comfortable for you. If you only like to use right-handed reels, more power to you. If you only like to use left-handed reels, go with it. Don't let other people criticize you for what you're doing. Now, having said that, I do have a specific reason as to why I do what I do. So first and foremost, let's talk about my left-handed reels. So in this case, the left-handed reels for me are almost always going to be what I consider pitching and flipping reels. So they're going to be set up on rods where I know I potentially will be flipping the Ozark rig or flipping a heavy Texas rig into mats, or maybe I'm fishing and skipping a swim jig around docks. I like a left-handed reel because predominantly I cast or flip with my right hand. It doesn't mean I won't switch hands at some point, but I am more accurate with my right hand. I feel very confident with my left hand, but if I had my choice, I would flip with my right. And because I go to flip, that way the reel never moves hands. And if I get bit instantly upon impact, I can just grab the handle, set the hook. There's no transfer of reel, which can lead to a fumbling of the reel, especially when the bite happens instantly. The other aspect to flipping and pitching for me, and this is really evident when you're flipping, say, punching heavy mats, it is, for me, a very quick game, and I am way more efficient to keep the reel in my flipping hand. So if I'm flipping right-handed, I want a left-handed reel because I flip it, work it, reel it in quick, do it again. There's no swapping of hands, which slows the process down just slightly throughout the course of the day. I feel very confident that for me, I will make more flips if the reel never leaves the hand. So those are the two main reasons. Now, if I'm talking about cast and wind baits, generally I'm fishing a right-handed reel. Now, one of the reasons why I use both left and right-handed is because I've taught myself for 30-some years to use both, and I don't necessarily want to lose that skill. At this point, I honestly feel from a retrieve standpoint, I don't care if I put a left or right-handed reel in my hand, I'm good to go. Like, I have complete confidence that I'm as good with left-handed reels as right-handed reels. From a casting standpoint, I generally go with right-handed reels because in that case, if I'm throwing, say, a crankbait, the swapping of hands over is probably not going to cost me fish. I don't feel like I'm going to lose fish, and it's going to allow me to maintain the skill set of using a right-handed reel. If I could swap everything over to a left-handed reel, and I would be fine from that standpoint, but I actually like being able to use both hands. If I got rid of one set of reels, Give it some time. It would probably eventually feel clunky to me, and I don't want to lose that. So for casting standpoints, if I'm throwing a topwater bait, throwing any sort of long distance bait, a football jig, things like that where I'm dragging on the bottom, not that concerned about it. If it's close range or I think I might be able to get a bite instantly, so maybe I'm skipping a frog under trees, I want a left-handed reel for that because those bites can happen fast. But ultimately, I like being able to use both reels. Now, when it comes to spinning reels, I'm almost always left-handed. Actually, in fact, I am only left-handed when it comes to spinning reels. This, again, goes to the fact that for the most part, I personally feel like it's very clunky to swap hands. So if I casted with my left, to transfer a spinning reel is a little bit clunkier, and I feel like I'm not as good closing the bail. I would rather cast with my right hand and just have the reel never leave my hand. It just makes me much more one unit. I can close the bail, I can control it. You know, if I were to go and make a cast and I wanted to slow the line down or close the bail, I got to do that. Then I got to swap hands. It seems clunky to me. Some of the best anglers in the world swap hands with their spinning reels. Personally, not a huge fan of that. The same goes for a lot of times with my spinning reels. If I'm skipping, say, a weightless wacky rig under docks or something, those bites can happen instantly. I don't want to be swapping hands. But when you look at somebody like Jacob Wheeler, one of the best anglers in the world, he swaps hands with his spinning gear. I don't think we can sit here and say what he's doing is wrong. I think it's personal preference. The last thing I'm going to point out with this, because again, this goes back to why I do it, has to do with the fact that this is my professional job. This is what I do for a living. And like right now, I am battling a pretty bad wrist injury where I tore a tendon. I've really been suffering for, it's been almost 5 months at this point. If I only casted right-handed or only reeled right-handed, I would be in so much more pain than I am when I'm able to reel with my left hand. So right now, like it depends on how I'm holding the reel, but for me, it's actually easier to hold bait casters than it is spinning gear. Spinning gear leads to much more pain. The point I'm making here is, for me, because it is my career, I don't want to lose the skill set of going from left to right-handed reels, because I actually think it helps me in cases of injuries. I have had injuries to both my left and right hand that have not affected me nearly as much because I am capable of using reels with left and right. So I've got very specific reasons as to what handles I use for the reels that I choose. But I wouldn't judge somebody if they're using left or right-handed, and I think it's not efficient for them. It's just surprising to me some of the comments I get from people who are watching videos where it's literally like, I don't like the fact that this guy swapped hands, so I'm unsubscribing. It's like, you're going to unsubscribe because I'm talking about a retrieve, which has nothing to do with the reel that I'm choosing. It just seems odd to me that people are that judgmental, but I guess it's the times we live in. And because I do get tons of comments regarding why I choose left or right-hand reels, I felt like doing another video for those people as well. So hopefully it answers those questions. I appreciate all of you watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscriber button. We got to pick up for some of the ones that I've lost recently. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. New video coming out tomorrow.